conversation. I want to say up front, we know we don't have it all right. We've been doing some work in the background. We know we've got lots of issues around the registrar's office that we can fix. We know we've got lots of student experience things that we know we can fix. We know we must fix. So this could not be more timely than right now for you to tell us what you need, because we want to show that we value you. None of us would be here and none of us would be getting a paycheck if it wasn't for you. The other thing I want to say is, for those of you who had the courage to come and stop me when I was here at a staff meeting, and I think there was some confusion. Some folks, I think, thought that it was a student meeting, but it was a staff meeting. And we were talking about our future direction. But again, for those of you who stopped me, thank you. Because on my way home, we made sure that we were right back here this week. So I really appreciate it. I look forward to the same courageous conversation today, and we will do whatever we need to do to make it right, and we may need a few of these. So let's get started. And I think I need to introduce the FSA president, who I'm just getting to know.
Thank you, Mary. My name is Gabriela Sarmiento Dominguez. I'm an international student and I'm the president of the Frost Student Association. We are the ones who represent you, and I am so excited to see all of you here around. I just want to double check if everyone can hear me in every corner. Good? Okay, thank you. Sometimes it gets low. So thank you very much for coming here. I know as a student it's super difficult to come here. We have labs, we have tests, we have, I don't know, lots of things coming. We have also our jobs, and coming here, it shows how much we care about this campus. We are so proud of this campus. It's a global known campus, and it's the best college to study natural resources. I am so proud of that. I came from Colombia here because I know that. And the idea here, thank you very much, Maureen, for coming, for listening to us. The goal for all of us is to empower this college, to have a Frost campus that can be recognized and to work to be better. Thank you very much for including us in your Fleming tour. It's so important to see your face around, all of you, all your team. It's great to see you here. Hopefully we can see you here around often. And thank you all the students to be here, and also professors that they are not here but you can communicate, for being flexible and helping you to be here with us. You can start. Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby. Yes.
Okay, so Gabriella, you had a great idea right before this, and we had a quick chat upstairs, and you said, you know, there's 4 main themes that we want to cover, that you want to learn about. And I thought it was a great idea because time flies really quickly, so just parse this into different segments, and Cindy again is our timekeeper. So what was the first theme that you wanted to discuss and highlight?
Yeah, college services, and specifically Frost student services are different than Peterborough. So that would be the main topic.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll kind of start at this side of the room. Where's my partner in crime over here, Cindy? And then we'll move over just to make sure we're not putting focus on the left, the right, or the middle. So any questions over here to the left?
How is removing registrar's office helping Frost students? A lot of us don't have vehicles, and how are we supposed to talk to the registrar's office when their emails go to the void and we can't get to Peterborough?
Yep.
So I certainly think there's been a little bit of miscommunication there, and I'm going to lean to my colleague Sherry Gosling to answer that question for you.
Thank you for the question. I think that that's a really important question. So your question was, as I understand it, why are we moving the registrar's office, correct? Why are we removing it from Frost? Is that correct?
Yes.
We are not. So we are not moving the registrar's office. We have 6 people who are employed in the registrar's office.
Only 6.
2 of them are at the front, and they are student services, and they talk to you about issues that you have, and they can help you in a general, whatever the issue is. We have 4 people
who are in the back office, and they process applications, they process student accounts, your payments, they process timetables and grades. So that's the kind of work that they do that is very computer oriented, and they are not front facing, as we say, or student facing in their work. 3 of those people will be moving to hybrid and Sutherland. But when you send in an email, you may not know that it goes to the central service system, and your response may be from somebody at Sutherland. It may not be from someone here. We have work that we need to do in that area, I know. So serve is an issue, and we are bringing in something called Team Dynamics. And Team Dynamics will be a new way that when you need to put in a ticket or you have an issue, you will get more response from a larger group of people. So we are not removing the registrar's office. Yep.
How do you think this will benefit us?
Yeah. Another really good question. Because we know that the service that you have been receiving has been lacking. Let's be honest. We know that. This is the first step in moving people to something that we want to pilot here at Frost, and I'll ask my colleague Kate to explain some more. We'd like to try something that Seneca has. It's a centralized service hub where we can get wraparound service, including IT, RO, all of the student services in one location. That will help you more because we're going to have student navigators who can help you navigate the service system. We don't have that right now. You're being told to go here and then go there, and maybe we can help you, or wait, send in an email which doesn't get returned. These are all things we know we have to fix. And so this is the first part of fixing that and setting that up. What we want to do, we don't have the structure to do right now. So we have to move forward to that. I don't know if you... Okay? Yep.
Hi, I have a follow-up regarding the changes that are happening in the registrar's office. So while the team services plan sounds like a great change, I'm curious not only how many more staff opportunities will be laid to that to better help students that continuously have problems registering, as myself and many other peers that I've spoke to here, as well as when this plan is set in place. Is this going to help students that are trying to get into programs now that have started opening to students? Will this be 5 years down the road? When do those changes begin?
Kate and I have been talking about that, and we're hoping to get something in place by the spring of this year. Now, the other piece to this is we're not going to do what we have done historically, which is tell you what we're going to provide in service. Instead, what we want to do is get your opinion. What are the problems you've been having, and how can we mitigate those problems? So we're going to have a survey, we're going to have focus groups, and then we'll have ongoing feedback, because you're the people who are having the problems, and it doesn't always translate down to us. I mean, you have to understand that. We don't always hear, so we want to get right with you and understand how can this be student-centered. So, spring.
I had a question as well. Hello.
Oh, hi.
So it sounds like you're trying to put more of an emphasis still on electronic means, still through emailing, still through any kind of means that way. How do you guys feel that taking away the little face-to-face interaction that we do have with the registrar is going to be more beneficial than just effectively to me it sounds like is creating a central hub where even more emails are going to be going towards? How is taking away the face-to-face interaction going to help?
Great question.
I think what I was saying
Clap
is
for him.
that the email that is occurring right now. So what happens when a student emails us and says, I have a problem, and they don't get a response? So they send another email, of course, and they don't get a response, so they send another email. Half of the work of what we're doing right now is dealing with all those excess emails. To be honest, there's like hundreds.
So why take away face
So
to
the
face?
idea is that service won't be reduced for now. We still will have the emails until we have the hub. Service will not be reduced, but it won't be improved until we can get people in the hub servicing people. That is where we're going.
Just before the next questions, because what I'm seeing is it's like the same question being asked over and over because
No, it
we're
isn't.
not hearing what you would like to hear from my colleague Sharon. So there's a couple things that I noticed. I don't know everything about the RO. Is it okay if I talk? Okay, thanks. I'm an auntie too, so if someone is treating me with disrespect, then I call that out. And if someone's treating you with disrespect,
This is for
I call
us.
that out too. So one of the things that
Fuck you.
I acknowledge, I didn't know about any of these things. I'm not a registrarial person. That's my colleague that does that. But as a senior management team member, I'm responsible for answering to you guys. So I started looking back at your guys' threads on Instagram, all of the grams, all of the complaints, and they started long before this change in the registrar's office. How many of you had a hard time with your timetable before this change was announced? How many of you had a problem getting a response in less than 2 weeks? How many of you had a problem not feeling like you were less than or just only a number? Hands up. So the other thing that I do is I represent marginalized students. And what I see here is all of you are feeling marginalized. I don't just represent Indigenous students. I'm not just responsible for Indigenous students, but for students that are feeling marginalized. What's happened here is the changes that are happening in the registrar's offices. There's not a change of who's going to be, how many people are going to be in front of you. The same number of people are going to be in front of you. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. We won't know unless we try something. But what the something that they're trying is that those two people in front of you can answer more than a handful of topics. So they're not saying that this is the answer to everything. They're not removing positions. They're looking at the positions and saying, how can we make them be able to do more? How can we make them be able to answer more student questions? And again, it might not work, but these questions and these concerns have been coming up long before this announcement of this change, or the knowledge of this change. Something else might need to happen, right?
Just chew up all our
So
time
that
here.
that change is happening. What you guys, I would think would please explain what
We
you
only
need,
have an hour.
what's not
Just keep
working,
chewing up our time.
what these changes that they're proposing and doing need to have, because that's what it is, right? These things are stemming from long ago, not just 2 weeks ago, not just a week ago.
Okay, I feel like we're gonna have to stop this topic right now. Gabriella wants the mic for a second, and then we'll carry on, okay?
Okay, and so just really quickly for everybody in the audience.
You're taking
that's like,
complete
we're getting
control of
some
this.
Stuff on social that people can't hear
Fuck
the
you
students,
guys.
So if you can just speak really closely, really closely, and really loud. So we are going to move on for the sake of time, and I'll let Gabriella introduce the next topic.
Okay, before the next topic, I would like to thank you because you say like we feel marginalized, and yes, the feeling is not just about the RO. Since before, we have felt that we don't have enough services here, that all the services that the college, the Fleming College offer are just in Peterborough, not here. So why not, now that we are coming with solutions,
Yes,
Yes.
Gabby!
Yes!
why not to delegate people here, because all the decision-making people are there in Peterborough, why not to delegate that responsibility to people here so we can be more efficient and we can get answered faster and we can keep going our academics. If we don't get the timetable in the first 2 weeks, it will affect us a lot. Or, I don't know, just counseling or career services. If we get it online, it's not the same experience that we can get with someone here talking with us as right now that you are here, we can see you, you can see that it gets a great response. So it would be better to have people here that can give us responses and help us and really solve our problems.
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
Thank you!
Thank you!
Okay, and again, you will have ample opportunity after this to submit the form to get heard and
Oh,
the
come
feedback.
on.
We are going to move on to community accessibility, specifically speaking around housing and what were the other, food security, and there's one more, Gabriela?
Yes, transportation is a big one.
Transportation.
Jobs in general, what the community services can offer.
Okay, yeah. This side of the room now.
Hi there, my name's Curtis. I am a student at this college who does not drive, and I do not have financial supports other than myself. My mom is on disability, and my grandmother is in debt, and pretty much everybody else in my family has passed away at this point. So as a student who doesn't drive, the Talk Coach Line bus that only runs out of Lindsay on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays has officially shut down services permanently. Will there be a line between Lindsay and Peterborough to link Lindsay to the rest of the province?
That's a fantastic question. I'm going to put this over to President Anderson.
So that is a great question. And we've heard this before too, that the transportation is not working. So that is something I will commit to you, that we will find a way to close that gap, and we'll find a way very soon. And I appreciate that that's been a problem.
Yeah, how?
Well, we'll have to go back and find some way to have everyday service or 5 days a week, and the college will have to, well, I'm going to work on that. Sorry?
They're asking how.
I'm going to come back to you with a plan. We'll have to see who we can get and who we can contract, right?
Timeline, when?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll work with whoever we can access to make sure that there's a flow.
Can I just remind everybody we're going to keep a good flow here and we're going to ask the questions appropriately.
So one of the things is there was a shuttle between Peterborough and Lindsay campus previously, right? It went a couple times a day, and then there was transportation that was proposed between Fleming College at Peterborough and at Lindsay into the GTA area. The previous shuttle that happened between Lindsay and Peterborough and the rest of the area was actually the responsibility and taking care of an initiative of the student government. So FSA and SAC partnered on that, and they were responsible for that. So now, after the pandemic, when they're talking about putting it back together, the thought was that the two student governments would work together again to do that. So as far as we're concerned, or the government or the governance at Fleming, we didn't look at that right away. So now what's happening is Kate is speaking with the student governments at different tables and talking about how that can happen again. I understand that there's conversations with GO that trying to get transportation from the GT area straight to these areas, as well as transportation between Peterborough and Lindsay campuses. So how are those conversations going? I know that Maureen isn't at that table. I know that Kate is having those conversations with the student government. So the way that we work these things out is that we as senior management team members, and that's why we're here, are responsible for doing that and reporting to Maureen, who's our boss, and then she's responsible for reporting to the Board of Governors. So I would ask maybe if there's anything that Kate can share about that, but I can tell you that the conversations are happening. I don't know what the timeline is. So, is that okay?
Yeah. So can I say?
All I want to add is that if there's something that the college needs to do, if the two governance groups can't get it all together, we will try to bridge the gap, whether that's financially or otherwise. And thank you for that history that I don't have.
Okay, I'm going to take a question here. Okay, if that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to stand up because I hate it when people can't see me when I talk. I'm also just going to preference that I have Tourette's, so if I make noises or whatever, that's what's going on. My question is mainly why, I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to keep it to transit. Why does Fleming not include bus passes in their tuition? Most other colleges do.
Yes.
Residence is only available to first years unless you are an RA, and other other housing is all over town. I do not have a vehicle. Like other people, I do not have access to a vehicle, and nearest bus stop to me is about 1 kilometer away. And a bus one way is $3.50. So I think Georgian College, Sheridan, and a bunch of other colleges include bus passes in their tuition. I think it would be a great idea, and I also think it would be a great idea to try and put more into residents and try and get more housing closer to campus so that people can get here. Because I find a big issue for me personally, especially with the weather we get here, is not being able to get to classes because I live so far away and my roommates can't drive me or something, and that's a big issue. Thank you.
Yes.
So you're totally right. It is part of like a one-card system in tuition at other colleges, and at Mohawk, where I was years ago, they had it. So we need to do that. And the other thing I would say is we're in the process of signing a deal to build a residence right here on Lindsay campus, and that is well underway. We've got a proponent. We're looking at what the lease will look like to build, and we can build whatever we need from 200 residents onwards. So we recognize that, and we've made Lindsay a priority for housing because there is housing closer to campus in Peterborough. So I really love your ideas. Thank you.
I just want to, while we're on this topic, Kate McIntosh, the VP of Student Services, a few comments there.
Thanks, Chris. Just quickly on the transit note. So as mentioned, we are working with our student associations on that piece. You may not know, Frost students used to have the transit pass part of your ancillary fees. Past students voted against that. So that's why that was removed. If it's something you want to see come back, it's up to you folks to vote on. So if that's a need and if that's a want, we are more than happy to work with you on that and to work with the FSA on that to bring that back.
Why not make it optional?
We can look at all or nothing, okay?
Like the healthcare system.
We'll work with FSA to make sure that you have a voting system in place. Just on the note of the actual transit system in Lindsay, as you know, it is pretty limited. We recognize that we've got classes going later, you're on campus later, and the bus service ends earlier. And a lot of you who are on campus later can't access the bus service. So we need to work with the region to up that service. So that's something we are currently doing as well.
Thank you, Kate. We've got one question at the very back with Cindy here in the mic.
Actually, I'm Sherry. I'm with the Frost Student Association. I've been with the Student Association for 10 years now.
Woo! Woo! We love you!
Sherry! Thanks, everybody. I just want to clarify on the shuttle that the Frost Student Association managed toward the students. It was in the beginning a Fleming College initiative, and then it was handed over to the Frost Student Association to manage. We got it going. We were running it. We ran it for about 3 years or so. I think we had 4 or 5 runs a day going from here to Peterborough. It got very expensive, and the students found that there was only a small portion of the students on campus that were using the transit system. That's the reason why they voted against it, because it was very expensive for students and it wasn't being utilized by enough students.
Thanks. Take one more on this? Or?
Yeah, we can take one more and so we move on to the next.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, these guys. Do you want to?
So this is kind of related to, I guess, security, and especially for people who live on residence. I don't live on residence anymore, but when I did, if you call security, the line goes directly to Peterborough. I was told that we cannot call directly to the the Lindsay campus, so it goes to Peterborough, and then they call Lindsay campus, and then they send out security. I feel like that may be falling short in terms of keeping students safe.
I myself am not aware of that, and I'm not sure if any of that's kind of news to me, to be quite honest. I'm not sure. Okay. That's something that we can for sure take back.
Other people are saying that's true.
Okay, let's take one more transportation question.
Please, yeah.
Cool.
This is less transportation and more housing. So I hear you're building a new residence for us at Frost. That's great. How much is it going to cost? your residence last year was more than my rent this year, and if it's costing students an arm and a leg to live in residence, that is frankly lacking with no meal plan and no help for us. Why would we stay on Frost? Why would we stay on campus?
Thank you for your question.
Students are commenting that it's suboptimal. And I've been there, it is suboptimal.
You know, right now, the residence is very new, as we mentioned. That's something that we're looking into. We don't have numbers, we do not have figures. It's something that we see there's a clear, evident gap. As Liz mentioned, there's a gap for housing in Lindsay, and we're looking to find solutions for that. So I can't really answer on numbers right now.
What more would you like to hear? We are trying to build a residence here. Is it going to be cheaper? We haven't figured out the cost structure yet, but that is the plan.
Are we going to be able to access the CAF more? Are we going to have a food plan that's actually available to us? We can't go to the CAF after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's cool. That's honestly
have huge cafeterias, and I know Frost isn't big, but we need more food.
Okay, I hear you.
Complaining about the CAF. The CAF closes at 4 and our food options are expensive and limited.
We're actually not 5 million over on the hatchery, but the hatchery was something that was conceived without all of what the expenses were to be attached to it. It was before my time, but we made sure we built the hatchery, and I think that's pretty important. I didn't say anything about 2 million.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, staff? No. We don't know what our changes are going to be. Our changes are, we will have some changes. There will be some programmatic changes.
You did say that.
Because we are losing
I was
a
there.
lot of money on international students. I don't know the exact number.
She did say that.
She did.
If I could
She
just
said
remind
that.
everybody, right, we want to be respectful. We want all this feedback. Like hearing you talk about our food services and what you need and healthy options, that's the feedback we need. So let's use this as a forum to give that feedback so we can have fruitful dialogue. Again, solution oriented. I do see a lot of hands. We are going to move on to the next topic, just being mindful of time because I know it is one that is near and dear to a few folks. And that topic is international students. And I know that you had a question right here at the front specifically. Yeah.
So, hi, this is Tejinder. Actually,
and if you could just volume really, really loud just so everybody can hear.
Okay, so my question is, I'm the last semester student here. This is the 4th semester. I'm going to graduate this April. But the thing is, in last semester I failed a course. I have talked about with this my coordinator and the dean and the academic chair too. The course that I failed is available in next September to December. But the main problem is I'm getting graduate in the April. So I need to go through the complicated process of extending my study permit and things. There are also other aspects of that are really problematic. I have talked with Christina said she gave advice about the PGWP. Then according to her instructions, I talked with the immigration lawyer. They directly said that if you will be going to do the course in next September, that will be a part-time student type thing. And there will be a permanent chances of that you will getting a refusal to your work permit. So my question is, when that is the words of my coordinator. I was in a tour. We were discussing something about it, about the courses. He said that when there is no any teacher available, we used to run the course online. So I am thinking that why we need to extend our study permits if we can run that course in this semester online. I also tried finding other equivalent courses in this college, other colleges, but that was not possible. So there is no any chance of getting the course in September to December. That also some expenses in the meantime. So yeah, that's the question. I want. This is not the case of the single or 2 students. This is the case of the 10 students here.
Okay, thank you for your question.
offline with you, please? Yeah, thank you. Just wait for me after.
It's something that we want to dig into a little bit more with the actual specific records. Yeah.
Okay, let's move
I have
on.
much more big things to talk about this if I extend my study permit because not having enough time, so I just trying to cover up in this short story.
I also assumed.
So what we're hearing, there's a similar issue right here, and we'll take that offline and get that rectified and remedied for you, and get some answers to it.
Chris over here.
Hi. Oh, sorry, that was.
No, that's good. Everyone can hear you.
I just want to say thanks again for taking the time to come and meet with us today. And I know we're not going to get through what everyone has to say. And so you're saying that we're going to be able to provide our feedback through a feedback form. And I'm just wondering if we are going to be able to write our own feedback in that. Oftentimes at this college, when we're given feedback forms for the program or the entire college or classes and professors specifically, they're pre-populated responses. I don't actually get to give my feedback. I have to agree with something that you've given me to choose from. I don't actually get to provide my feedback. And I know a lot of us have a lot of things to say here. So will the feedback form that you're going to give to us allow us to actually provide our concerns?
Woo! Fuck yeah, Valerie. Fuck
So,
yeah.
That's a fantastic question. We don't want you to we don't want a pre-populated form to get specific
That's what we
answers A,
get.
B, and C.
Yeah.
It does no good for anybody.
Agreed.
So what the form will be, because my team literally created this from marketing, is name, email, and a big wide field that
Beautiful.
says feedback/questions.
Beautiful.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Again, we want to hear the feedback.
Perfect.
That
The
should
good,
be
the
the
bad, and the
feedback on
ugly, right?
everything.
Yeah. It'll be circulated to the Frost Association shortly after this, so give us a couple hours by the end of the day.
Chris.
And over here, yep.
Can anybody hear me? Okay, hello. I'm Ingrid. I'm an international student. I'm in my second semester. And as many other international students, on my first semester, I had a lot of issues with my registration process, to the point that my very experienced immigration agent was shocked for mainly two things. The first thing was the lack of communication during the entire process before I came here. The school just didn't reply to certain emails. The second issue is the lack of a financial system that allows us to know exactly how much we owe until when we have to pay. I was told the only way we can know the amount we owe the school is going to the webpage of my program and doing some math to figure out the amount I haven't paid yet. And this caused a lot of issues. At the time, I wrote a formal complaint. This is my formal complaint that reached.
Good job.
It ended up reaching the manager of college services, the student success coach, and two of the regional managers of international student recruitment. And yet, this semester, I saw the same problems happening with a lot of other international students, including my new roommate who had to go back to his country because the school didn't bother to inform him his seat was deferred to the next intake until the second week of classes. So
wow.
My question
wow.
is, what has the school been doing to fix these issues with the registration of international students?
Wow.
Okay, thank you for that question, and sincerely, on behalf of Fleming College, apologize for that experience that you've had. You know, we want to make sure academic excellence, but the student experience
That is unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Could you repeat your name for me, please?
Ingrid Padejo.
Okay. Muito obrigada. And I would love to
Eu falo português um pouquinho. I would love to speak to you afterwards because you're right. There are many things that we want to that we have to change and that we're working on changing. Some of you may not realize, for example, we have a student management system that we internally call Evolve. Is based on PeopleSoft technology, and that system was not upgraded for decades. Let's be honest about that. So as a college, through senior management, but everyone that works at the college, we're trying very hard to move forward with our technology and bring us as an institution and you as a student through your student experience into the 2020s. It's going to take time, but we are definitely aware of where our pain points are with our student management system, and we're working on changing that. It won't be tomorrow, but I can tell you that we're working on it and we're aware of it. And we appreciate you coming forward as a student body to share your concerns. And I want to say, as I've worked at Fleming for 17 years, the reason that I live in the area is because my husband came to the Frost campus as a student many years ago.
This is irrelevant.
And I want you to know that we're here to listen to you, but we want to not just listen to you, but for it to lead to actual change. But we need your support in that as well.
Can we move on?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Chris, I have a question here. I'm going to take one more over there after that, and then we'll move, okay, to the next topic.
And then I feel like we've been neglecting you folks up here.
Sorry.
So if there's any other questions before we move to the next topic after this one,
so go there.
we'll go over here. Yep.
Hi everyone, I'm a peer mentor here at Frost Campus, and I'm just so happy that everyone has turned out for this. I was a little concerned that we wouldn't see many people, so thank you all for coming. Thank you to the people from up high in the power of Frost coming down to see us. But I have a concern that I've been here at Frost for 4 years. I have seen a lot of problems, a lot of unhappy students, and a lot of students who adore this campus. We are a very strong individual campus, and we love Frost. However, I find that every year we have people making changes based on our current student population. And yes, we should make changes for our current student population, but can there be a way that we make changes for the upcoming student population, that they have a voice, so that we don't cancel a bus service when 2 years later after the pandemic is gone, everyone needs it? How is it that we keep running services based on the current population when half of the students here are going to be graduating and then they're gone? And then we have more students come who have the same problems, and it's just a kind of wash and repeat. So we need a system where we can have voices as soon as we arrive at college, even as soon as we have an acceptance at this college, so that we know that when we get here, our needs are going to be met, and we are going to have a prosperous 1-year program, 2-year program, or however long we stay. So please, can we find a way to communicate with you ongoing so that we all get our needs met? Thank you.
That is a fantastic question and comment, and very, very important. And I think I speak on behalf of all my colleagues that this will not be the last of these sessions. Your feedback, again, is very important. Is there another comment over there, or question? I know you were waiting.
Hi, my name is Ben Epps. I'm an international student from the UK, and I think as an international student who arrived last September, I can say that one of the biggest issues that I came across is that international administration fees were raised after I'd already arrived and was in my 4th week of the first semester. When I had to pay my second semester fees, I then had to pay extra cash that I had not accounted for in my budget, because the fees had been raised when I'd already entered the country on a visa that I could actually no longer financially sustain. I had to pay an extra $350 to stay in the country, otherwise I just have to leave. I'm financially on my own, and I had to find that money independently. Like many other international students in the room, I think a lot of other people struggle with this in silence because we too weren't able to voice our opinions. Thank you.
It's also unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable.
And we do have to fix the process. We take those fees to the board, and we're taking them to the board too late. So we're going to change that so that never happens again. And I'm
It
happy
better
to
not.
refund you your difference that you had to pay when you got here.
Hey!
You better. We're holding you to that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it wasn't just him.
So the answer was, we'll look at it case by case. Is there another question over here for international?
Okay.
Before we open it up, we want to be able to open it up to the floor.
Some of us paid $1,500 to $2,000.
Give me a second. I'm going to shift on back here so everyone can hear you, please. Do you have a question?
It's just to add, some of us paid $1,500 to $2,000. Now it's just $350 extra. That's the difference. I mean, more than 200 international students. No, I think it's going to be, not sure. Just to add.
Did you have a question?
And my question is regarding that. Actually, we have paid something, but we didn't receive any reasons why we have paid extra. Of course, we know that we have paid the contract of accepting the offering letter. The fees is displayed here is not a permanent one. It may be changed. We understand that, but the thing is, we have paid, we have accepted to pay, but we need to know why this happens.
That's very good feedback. Thank you. Okay, Cindy, I think Cindy's over there. We want to change topics again. We're just looking at time, being mindful of time. There's about 8 minutes left. And just kind of open it up to the floor for any questions. So Cindy's right over there, back to this side here.
Can we just
Is there one more international?
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. With the international campus students happening, how much revenue is the college going to lose? And second part, how much of that revenue is expected to be put on future students to compensate?
Oh, great question.
What we know today, and we're simply modeling, which is why the $2 million, I don't know where that came from, but we're trying to model exactly.
You said it.
For home campus, we think it could be as much as $40 million, and it won't be put forward on future students because we won't have that many future students. It's the revenue that comes directly through the enrollment, so it will be just.
I was in that meeting. You said that.
I was also in that meeting. You said that.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so open questions. Where's Cindy? Is she back? So we'll move.
Yes.
I think the guy in the
I
green.
did promise that.
Lying through your fucking teeth.
Thank you. Good call.
Yeah. How much money did the school spend in total on the Phoenix rebrand?
Oh.
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I don't know. You don't have figures or numbers.
Yeah, aren't you the VP of marketing?
We don't know. That's part of the athletics.
We don't know off the top of our head, but I will report it back.
Again, off the top of our head, but we will report it back.
That in the meeting.
Yeah. You've got a question right here.
We were there.
Con Bio is $3,700 for common first semester. Fish and Wildlife is $2,200 for common first semester. There is a 10-day period to switch and get your money back. I do not think that is enough time to know what program you would want to take. We take common first, and then we decide if we like that program, we switch off. I'm asking if common first can be a standard rate, or if the refund period can be extended to reading week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in the same thing. We all pay the same price.
Okay. Good. That's good feedback. Thank you.
Okay.
Over here.
That was a question. Answer it.
It's good feedback that we're going to take back and we'll look into.
And that's not an answer.
Again.
Oh, you guys pay.
Well, how about we all have some respect for each other? Again, this is an open conversation.
I'll answer it. So what started to happen there was Maureen started to explain that the tuition cost, when somebody asked if it's going to come, the extra cost that we're losing with international students enrollment and tuition is going to be put on the backs of other students. So the answer is no, and it's very relative to, I'm sorry, who just asked a question, yourself, about the dates and times and the changes in tuition. So one of the things that we do with our budget, and we figure out our budgets for the future year, is based on enrollment. So when you apply for to come to Fleming under Fish and Wildlife, is that what I heard you say?
I started off on Comm Bio and then I switched to Fish and Wildlife. It's the same common first semester, but much different tuition.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why there's much different tuition, and I'll tell you why I know this, because I'm responsible for creating new programs and figuring out the costing of that. I can't just say, oh geez, I want to create a program on underwater basket weaving. Let's make it happen. I have to actually look at it in the position or the dean responsibilities is look at every program and figure out how much it's going to cost and how many bums and seats I need to make it break even, right? So that's why there's a difference between those two programs. The reason why you only have a certain amount of time to change your mind is because those programs have already figured out their budget for your cohort of students going all the way through for 4 years. If we have to change the budget, then it affects the resources for those students that decided to stay in that original program that you picked, right? So that's why that timeline in there is really short, because Tanya, my colleague here, who's the dean at Centers, Brent, who used to do that, I who do that now, and other people that used to be deans, we're responsible for that budget and for what
Be
comes
conscious of
underneath.
how much
Does
time
it
we have
suck?
here.
Yes, it absolutely sucks. But we have to make sure that we're underneath that. Like we're underneath
Oh, you're
that
wasting
budget that we
time.
proposed. Can we look at extending that time, 10 days? We can look at it. You want to answer yes or no? It's not going to happen. If I ask you, are you going to graduate with an 80 plus in 2 years? Can you guarantee that? And if you don't guarantee it, then you're going to pay me? It's unreasonable.
Come on.
But we can look at that and we can say, how can we add a little bit of time? But if we can't, you got to be able to accept that too, because we're going to be transparent and say if we can.
That was a
Okay?
5-minute answer. That was a 5-minute
It's not the
answer.
same product. It's not. It's absolutely. The first semester.
Okay guys, we can't get angry though.
So common first semester. Pardon me? Yeah. Okay, so Tanya knows more about this than I don't. I'm sorry if I gave you wrong information.
It's not about the wrong information. Conservation Bio is a new program. When a new program gets created, the tuition has been set, and that's been approved by the ministry. The tuition is based on running the whole program. It's based on, your employability skills afterwards, on your chance to get a job, and it's set by the ministry. Their tuition brackets. And how that works, you have to divide those equally between all semesters. The ministry doesn't allow you to set a different tuition in the first semester, in the second semester, in the third semester, and in the fourth semester. So the overall cost to run a program is distributed equally across all 4 semesters.
Can we move on?
That's what's happening, right? Otherwise, you could charge less in the first, because it's the same, and then you have to increase in the following semesters, but you can't do that. That's what it is.
Hi. I feel like there's a lot of frustration in the room, and I think that comes from the fact that on the Frost campus, we are kind of shafted a lot of the time in terms of the services that are available are available at the Peterborough campus. And I think that this campus is really special in terms of the fact that it is an environmental campus. And if you look up what the Fleming College is known for, it's the environmental resource science programs. It is what we do here on this campus. And so keeping the Frost campus as a respected school in the labor market would increase domestic students. And I know that that's a big concern for you guys, is bringing domestic students in. And that's I came to this campus because it was a respected environmental school, and that's what it's known for. And right now, though, you're doing the opposite. You canceled the geology program, which had a 100% employment rate and was one of, if not the most respected geological technician programs in the eyes of the labor market. I learned from equipment still that hasn't been calibrated in a decade. And if we continue on this trajectory, the whole college will lose its reputation. This is increasingly important as we are coming into a time of extreme environmental concern, and there's going to be so many environmental jobs opening. So I think that we need to keep the Frost campus special.
Yeah. Fix the gear.
The Frost campus is special, but it also does present other challenges too that you've all told me about, whether it's transportation, whether it's cost structures, whether it's processes. But our plan through what we will be dealing with, and the train is coming at us with the drop in international students, whether you like it or not, that's a big financial hit. We are going to have to make sure that we pivot a little bit up here and grow Frost and not let some of this stuff take us down. So that's the intent.
That's all you care about.
Okay, so I have a question because I'm reading for proxy. So there was over 30 people that wrote questions I couldn't actually attend. So I'm just going to read one of them. It took me 1 month to get to a counseling appointment, and I couldn't attend any of the career services sessions because they only happened once a week during class time. Why do we have to pay for services we can attend? How are we going to fix that?
Hi. I don't really know. It's not from you, so I'll speak to you. This is the feedback we need to hear, right? Again, you heard earlier, and it's not an excuse, and this may sound like an excuse, but it is not. The information doesn't always flow up, so we need to do better at hearing this information from you. So if you're waiting that long for counseling appointments, that's not okay, that's not acceptable, then we need more counselors.
Yes.
Then we need more counselors. So we will look at working on that. The piece about career services and having workshop availability, I know that we do offer things hybrid in person and the times aren't going to work. If there's better timings, then let us work with you. Tell us what times work for you. So we'll get to that.
Thank you, Kate. And I just want to make sure everyone is heard online. So maybe 2 more questions from the online community.
Okay, I'll ask one more. So, can we expect to regain services that were lost due to COVID, such as the Sustainability Office?
Yeah, this is the environmental campus, right?
Yeah, this is the environmental campus.
Can I get you to repeat the question, sorry?
Can we expect to regain services that were lost due to COVID, such as the Sustainability Office?
Sustainability Office.
Can the dean not speak on that? No.
Yeah, so I can speak to that really quickly. We are going through a rethinking of college-wide environmental, social, and governance project, and that will then, as we're bringing that on, that will then allow us to ramp up the sustainability efforts again. So that is in the works. We started it about a year ago, and we're just getting ready to announce it, so you'll hear more about that in the future. It's not posted yet, we're just finalizing it, but once it does come available, we'll pass it on to the FSA so you can hear about what we're doing.
Okay, just good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So again, I know there's lots of questions, and we could literally be here all night answering them. I am going to circulate that form out to you. We do want to hear from you. It's not going to be a form of questions.
Wait, I am an accommodated student, and no one has talked about that. How accommodated students were losing support staff when we don't even get the proper support we need. I am identified currently physically, mental health, and learning disabilities for accommodations. I cannot get a scribe when I need to. I cannot get supervised breaks when I need to. I am struggling to have meetings with my accessibility officer about dealing with my chronic pain, and I am tired of being put to the back burner.
Fucking well done.
Thank you, Cindy. I am very sorry to hear that that has been your experience. That should not be the experience for any of our students.
It does. It really does.
But you don't care about the disabled.
If these are the services we need here, then let's bring the services back here.
I'm sorry.
Email. Send me an email. Send me.
More emails.
Right now, this is the purpose of this. We have asked you folks to be respectful. We want this feedback. I can't stress that enough. We don't know what you want until you tell us. So that is why we're asking for it. This is why we're asking for it.
Were you not just saying that excess emails is a problem?
Have a space to share this, right? And so you want somebody here. Why? Okay.
We don't
So I
get
was
half of
just
what the other campus
talking
does, is
over
what
there.
she was just saying.
Yes, I get it. I do. And as you guys are yelling and screaming and saying and visibly upset, over there I asked, can we say that Kate and her team or somebody from her team will be here to listen as opposed to sending an email?
Yes.
Can you come back in a week? 2 weeks? What? When can you come back? 2 weeks?
No, I have.
She'll be back in 2 weeks.
No, I have a personal therapist.
Yeah.
I think given the 4 topics, there's more of us need to come back more often. So I think we need to break down all of these, so I think we're quite thoughtful and have more regular meetings. So we need to make a plan with that.
Okay,
Yeah, please
thank you
come
very
back.
much for again your time, and we want to listen more. Do you want to close, Liz?
Please come back.
I hope you get a raise, Liz.
I just want to ask that as we go forward to organize a meeting, that there's proper timeline that is given to students, because a lot of them had to miss classes or even like have a rush exam. So just that we have more notice.
Yes, thank you,
Is
Leia.
2 weeks good?
2 weeks notice, please come back.
Okay. So I'm gonna do things the way I do things from an Anishinaabe perspective. And if that's annoying, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I am. So everybody take a deep breath, if you will. If you don't, that's your stuff. One more. I want you to let out some sound. I don't care how scary it sounds. I want you to take a deep breath and yell. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Boo, whatever. Boo me, go for it. So somebody's going to be back here in 2 weeks, and I think what's also important that you realize is clearly some of the things that you were stating was very new and new news to some of the leadership.
It really shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It really shouldn't be.
I'm not bailing anybody out.
You are bailing the president out.
But you realize that we're accountable for things too, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to close?
Thank you, Liz.
Listen, I don't have all the answers, and it is true, some of this information is new, but we are ears wide open, and we need, I hear you, you're all very upset. And
Yeah.
you feel ignored, and we have to change it, but we need to start that now. So we will be back in whatever groups we need to be back to try to solve the problems, because it's not going to get easier when we have some of the things happening in the federal government and provincial government, right? So we
Please come
really
back.
need to start thinking about how we're going to solve some of these things, because it's going to get tougher, not easier. So thank you everybody for being here.
Please come back. That's our president.
Everyone, make sure they vote. on the Frost Student Association Instagram page. Not to get the RPO office or whatever moved. To keep it here. Vote on that page. Make sure you do that.
I do.